Hey Real.Dog Box fam, it is time for another unboxing. This is box number 69. For our muscle meat of the month, we have pork loin. For our organ meat, we've got beef spleen. For our seafood, we have salmon. For our light chew, we've got beef aorta. Our medium chew is duck wing. Our heavy chew is beef backstrap. And last but not least, our super chew is the lovely pig trotter. So first up, let's talk about our muscle meat. We've got pork loin this month. You can see it's a super lean meat. It's actually one of my favorite treats to put on the menu because this is something that we too at home will go ahead and dry, add some seasonings to, and eat. What we do with the pork loin that's different than any other treat that you might have seen is that we trim the fat cap off. So it's actually really lean and filled with a lot of muscle fibers. That makes it easy to break apart. For our organ meat of the month, we have beef spleen. Beef spleen is one of my favorite because it's actually a really underrated organ meat. It's easier to get than most people think, and it's really, really nutritious. It's one of my favorite secreting organs that's not liver, and you know, that has to be in the diet as well. What I like about this spleen and all of our organ meats is how easily they break apart. And because they're so high value, oh my gosh, these are perfect for training rewards. And you can also use them as meal toppers. Next up, we have our seafood. This is salmon. We cut these into actually 2.5 to 3 inch pieces, and you can see how much moisture is lost. With all of our seafood products, we're looking at losing nearly 90% of water weight. And so when you dry them, they become really flaky and easy to break apart. Fun fact, salmon is the only product Icon has ever stolen off of our drying carts. And now for our light chew, we have beef aorta. Your beef aorta comes with 3 pieces to a bag. One of my favorite things to do with the beef aorta chews is to make a cannoli. They're hollow, so you can pretty much put anything you want in there. My favorite thing to use is raw grinds if you are a DIY raw feeder or a pre-made feeder. You can also make your own piping bag from a Ziploc bag, fill it up with some non-fat plain yogurt, mix some of your dog's favorite treats in there, and stick it right through. You want to close the edges, stick them in the freezer for about 3 hours before feeding, and you got yourself no longer a light chew, but probably a medium to heavy chew for your dog to enjoy. Next up, we have our medium chew, which this month is our favorite, duck wings. Now, one thing, if you've been with us for a long time, you'll notice that's different is that instead of 2 wings to a bag, we're actually putting 3. These are super, super lean ducks, and the meat is lean, although there's a little bit of fat right around it. This is totally safe to feed with the fat and the entire bone. However, if this is your first time feeding a bone-in chew, we recommend going slow. You want to introduce 1/4 to half of the wing at a time. For our heavy chew of the month, we have beef backstrap. This backstrap is not a bone-in chew, despite how tough it is. If this is your first time feeding a beef backstrap chew, I recommend introducing 1/4 to a half of it at a time. Since you can't break it up with your hands, I recommend using a chew holder, or you can also rehydrate this in hot water to make it a little meatier and sort of like a gummy texture. Last but not least, our super chew of the month is the pig trotter. This is one of my favorite super chews because it's so incredibly long lasting and it's thick enough around the edges that it's really hard for your dog to get their entire mouth around it. So that's helpful in scraping off any built up plaque or tartar. Again, if this is your first time feeding a bone-in pig trotter, make sure to go slow, introduce a little bit at a time. And if you have it, slippery elm bark powder is a great remedy to prevent or treat any upset tummy. And this is box number 69. Happy chewing!